Imagine this. You're planning a barbecue with some friends. You go to the grocery store to the meat section with all of its tidy, bloodless, unnaturally colored packages. As you start deciding which package of ground beef to buy for hamburgers, do you think about the animals that suffered and died so you can eat that meal? When I ate meat, I didn't think about the cow, chicken, pig, or fish. I was checking for fat content, the color of the meat to make sure it was fresh, how much it cost. I didn't think about how that meat used to be a bright and emotional individual. Yet I love animals. As I search back in my memories, I feel like I have always been fascinated and amazed by animals. I would never wish harm or suffering on animals. In this video, let's explore that meat paradox, how to break it, an inspirational example, and a first step. In Becoming Vegan, Brenda Davis and Visanto Molino write about the tidy packages of meat in the grocery store. Fattened on cheap feed, bred for rapid growth, treated with antibiotics to control disease, with hormones to stimulate appetite and maximize weight gain, and immobilized in small spaces that allow little movement during their short lives. These animals, so effectively hidden from view, endure unspeakable suffering. If you eat meat, most likely you are living with a paradox. Rob Percival puts it this way: given that we dislike causing harm to animals, why do we consume so much meat, mostly from industrial farming systems, which cause so much harm? Yet these food animals are no less sentient, are no less feeling, are no less caring of their young than us or our companion dogs and cats. How can you be a good person and also eat meat? Will Tuttle says it this way: by seeing other animals merely as objects to be exploited for food, we have torn the fabric of essential harmony so deeply that we have created a culture that enslaves itself, often without realizing it. He goes on to say, this enslaving mentality of domination and exclusion lies at the core of the spiritual malaise that allows us to wage war upon the earth and upon each other. There are consequences to this psychological conflict that is going on inside of us, whether or not you directly caused the suffering or killed the animal. The psychological impact of eating meat may depend on different factors for different people, from a person's beliefs, values, morals, health, and view of nature. Some people have reported higher rates of depression and anxiety, guilt and denial, even impacts to brain function and mood disorders. Some people eat meat because it's associated with wealth, masculinity, or power. Others report the social pressures to eat meat to conform with the rest of society. Does it have to be that way? For thousands and thousands of years, we have believed that humans are the superior beings because we are the rational animals, and everything on this planet or universe is meant solely for our benefit. This has allowed us to rationalize eating other animals and devastating the planet. What if instead we thought of ourselves as part of and dependent on nature, and all life forms and natural entities have intrinsic value? What if we then treated all others with whom we coexist in this universe the way we would like to be treated? I was lucky to be born into a family that cared for me. I was not torn from my mother's arms the way baby calves are taken from their mothers as soon as they are born. I've read stories about human babies taken from their mothers, so I can at least sympathize with the trauma and distress that results for those humans and cow mothers. I would never pretend to fully understand since I have not experienced it, but what I know is horrifying enough. By the way, we're just talking about a tiny part of a dairy cow's, think milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, sour cream, life. After confinement, mutilation, and suffering, these bright and emotional individuals go to the slaughterhouse at 4 years old. Their natural lifespan would be more than 20 years. I don't know about you, but the thought of the slaughterhouse, where the cows move single file up a ramp, see and hear their friends and family stunned, hoisted in the air, upside down, throats slit, then sent down the disassembly line, it's too much to contemplate. I know I wouldn't want to be treated that way. Fortunately, we humans can change. Dr. Garth Davis says, we are not our tastes. Our beliefs, preferences, and habits are all just a result of early conditioning, social programming, and the grooves cut deep by repeated thoughts and activities over a lifetime. Instead of being driven by our taste for a hamburger, we could actually treat others the way we'd like to be treated. Let's take a look at someone who models this. Mimi Kirk is a wonderful inspiration for physical, mental, and spiritual health. Watch her interview by Chef AJ here. They talk about Mimi Kirk's engagement in life. She has just turned 84 in this interview, and she looks so young, joyous, and fulfilled. Despite her family genes and history, she feels healthy, as if she were 48, not 84. She recognizes that her body is aging. It is not the same as it used to be, but she feels timeless because she is in such good physical, mental, and spiritual health. Mike Fremont's term was beautiful health. Mimi Kirk attributes her excellent health and timelessness to her vegan lifestyle. She started as a vegetarian at 30 years old for the animals. She didn't want to take anything from animals, wear leather, or cause any stress to animals. She's had many careers, including author. I use this book to make food for our companion dogs. Mimi Kirk says being kind to all living things helps her feel a little happier inside. I can say the same about my family and me. When we switched to a whole foods, plant-based lifestyle, that hidden conflict, the meat paradox, disappeared. We feel more harmonious and peaceful. Many people characterize it as a lightness, which some attribute to the weight loss that comes with a plant-based lifestyle. I think it's actually a combination of not causing harm, suffering, and violence, and our incredible health. Timeless. But anyone can achieve this timelessness. Why not take the first step with a plant-based recipe? My husband and I tried this recipe for stuffed mushrooms recently, and they were absolutely delicious. Check out this recipe from Shane & Simple. It was easy to make and oil-free. Ingredients are large white button mushrooms, panko breadcrumbs, chopped onions, green and red peppers, carrots, zucchini, spinach, nutritional yeast, garlic powder, and salt and pepper to taste. I didn't have any green peppers or zucchini, so I used red and yellow sweet peppers, and just skipped the zucchini. Set your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, then remove the stems from the mushrooms. I chopped up a bunch of the mushroom stems and sauteed them along with the other chopped vegetables, garlic powder, and some pepper in a nonstick skillet, about 5 minutes. No oil is needed. You can use a little low-sodium vegetable broth, water, or wine if your vegetables are sticking to the pan. Next, put the vegetables and nutritional yeast into a food processor and pulse until it looks like stuffing. Then put the mixture in a bowl and add in the panko breadcrumbs. Season the mixture, then spoon it into the mushroom caps and place the mushroom caps on a baking sheet. I use a silicone baking sheet or parchment paper. Sprinkle with panko breadcrumbs for a crunchy topping and bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Crunchy, savory, and so tasty delicious. Don't forget to check out more delicious recipes at Shane & Simple's site. At your next meal, pause before you start eating and look at the items that you have chosen to fuel your body. Do you know how each of the animal foods got there? If you don't, after dinner, go investigate for yourself. Research concentrated animal feeding operations, the ties between the pharmaceutical industry and factory farming, and what happens at slaughterhouses. It's like the worst horror movie with humans in the starring role. So treat all living beings the way you would like to be treated. Become timeless, and remember to take it one day at a time until it's 7 days a week, forever 10.